It's another episode of some pilots. I'm starting to stare down the barrel and regret ever doing this. I'm the real life inspiration of the Finkle Files, Wyatt, and who is here with me today as always.
Hello, I'm Morgan. I'm having an affair with Roly Poly Oli's mother.
Okay. I remember Roly Poly Oli.
Yeah, I remember his sexy ass mom too.
Yeah, baby.
Fucking orbular MILF. Go ahead, sorry.
And we're here talking about some more pilots. This time around, we're okay. Last time there was like a couple good ones. This time there was
a really good one.
Yeah,
there was really good ones last time.
This time there was one good one, and then no other good ones after that. So
I feel like based on looking at my stuff, my notes, I feel like I might say there's one fine one.
Sure.
I don't even know if I would say good.
Say good. Okay. I would be very surprised if we didn't both agree that there was at least that one was a bit better than the other ones.
Yeah.
So, but we're here to talk about Penguins Behind Bars, which is the one. Circus, Peanut, and Elephant Ears. Finkle Files. The Lewis Lectures. My Best Fiend, which I accidentally wrote as My Best Friend because it's, that's the joke.
And I spent an hour trying to find
it. And then the Bobots, the last one. Most of these are just terrible.
Just really bad, like dog shit. Like it's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Like if I was someone forced to like, oh, can you watch the pilots and see what we should pick up? I'd be throwing hands at these people. I'd be like, you fucking asshole. You wasted so much of my goddamn time.
Yeah. We'll go through them in order. But I think it will decrease in what we have to say as it goes on. So this might be like
I think
25-minute episode. I don't know how long this is going to be.
We might. I have a lot to say about two of the bad ones that like are bad in a way where I could talk about them.
Yeah. We can probably fucking. You know what, Morgan? How was your day?
How's my fucking day? I woke up at like 9, and my tummy hurt.
Me too.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. My tummy was hurting. I was like, oh no, my tummy.
My stomach was hurting in a way where it was like every 30 seconds I could feel like when my bowels moved. It was like God. Pain. And I was like,
okay, not that bad.
Yeah.
I was just upset. Jesus.
It was like a sharp pain. And then I was able to go back to sleep and then I woke up and I was fine. But I'm not risking it. I'm drinking not warm, but like room temperature water.
Side note, this is not related. But me and Wyatt's icons on Discord is me. I have Hisoka looking like befuddled, and Wyatt has Goku grinning. And it looks like the podcast is between Hisoka and Goku.
Yeah.
And at the core, very similar characters. What the fuck would they have to talk about?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so that was my morning. I woke up at like 10:30, and I was like, I feel better than I did when I woke up with pain at like 6.
Yeah.
Don't know what all that was about. I have some ideas, maybe some food poisoning, maybe some. Whatever.
You also might just be old. I've been told like when you get old, some days like every few months you'll just wake up in pain and you gotta use the bathroom.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's crazy, but also it's very true. I could think of a few of those days on my own.
Yeah. Usually I get up and, I stumble over to the bathroom and I pull out my penis and I start urinating into the toilet.
All right.
I brace my hand against the wall and I'm moaning as loudly as I possibly can, hoping that the neighbors don't hear me. Or maybe hoping that they do secretly.
And they call help.
Yeah.
I know I like be like, oh my God, I have such bad cramps today. I have to use the bathroom, and then my partner's like, is your period on? And it's happened every month. Yeah. Every month I'm like, dude, why am I going into that? I don't know why they call it the restroom, by the way, because I'd be fighting for my fucking life in there. But we should talk about pilots.
Yeah.
What are we doing? We should talk about pilots.
Yeah. So first one up is Penguins Behind Bars, which is the only one I knew about before talking about this. That like I knew about it, and it's and I would qualify like I would say that it is more cute than like really great. There is some good parts to it, like some genuinely like, oh yeah, I really enjoyed that or whatever.
I would say it's finished, which is what we can't say a lot about a lot of these other ones. It's fucking done.
Yeah.
It's a full pilot.
It's well animated.
Which is I do think it annoys me that it's called Penguins Behind Bars and not Penguins in the Penitentiary because that rolls off the tongue so much better.
Yeah. I this is another one where I was very surprised looking up the creator who's like 70 now. Which is like crazy. That, I don't know. There's just something weird about the fact that, but this definitely felt like it was an adaptation of like
a book,
comics or something like that. It had like that comic book, like the Sunday comic strip or whatever. Art
also, she almost exclusively writes like stories with penguins as like the roles of humans, and that's like so cool. I don't know, man. If I was doing that when I'm 50, fucking A.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah. So, yeah, I did like this one overall. I think the transference, like the women's prison setting, is a good setting, and then the plot...
Crazy sentence out of context.
Yeah,
crazy sentence out of context, man.
It's good, but...
dude. I love to put a story in a women's prison. Yeah. Go ahead.
And like. Yeah, it's. I would say it's not really doing anything innovative or interesting with the concept, though, because it's literally just taking like the most standard tropes of a prison thing and being like, "What if it was penguins?" Like that's kind of the beginning and end of its humor.
There's no crack or anything. There's krill.
Yeah.
And you're gonna get that's beak stick instead of lipstick. Like that's kind of what it did. And honestly, it got some chuckles out of me. I gotta be honest. I was watching this with my partner because I was like, oh, let's watch all these pilots because sometimes my partner likes to do that. We had a good time last batch. My partner is, for people that are not aware, obsessed with penguins. We have like a bunch of penguins in the home. We have a bunch of penguins. I'm looking at a penguin like pencil holder right now. So like my partner was like, this rules. Like very much brought in. Like when we had like opened up with like mobster penguins robbing a bank, they were like, let's fucking go. And I'm like, honestly, I'm kind of here for it.
Yeah. But I don't know. Like I do think it's one of those things where it definitely feels... It's weird that it was categorized as a pilot because...
Yeah, this is a movie.
It feels like it's a complete story.
And
I don't think you necessarily... it needs to have any more than this. Like, it feels like... it just feels like it's a complete story. Yeah, the main character is still in jail by the end of it. But the whole point...
that's the hard side of the prison system.
Yeah, she's, like, become... Like, she is now where she was... Like, she was where the person who helped her was at the beginning of the story, and now she's, like, helping, like, the next softened lady to come in and, toughen her up and everything. I will say that I was thinking of another one of my favorite women in prison stories, and that's the episode of SpongeBob where Mrs. Puff gets put in prison. And these are my people, and then there's, like, the... realistic, like, detailed shot of, like, all the, like, angry butch women in the prison. And
I wasn't prepared for how many references to lesbian penguin sex this thing would have. Like, a lot of references to lesbian penguin. I did, too. I felt seen. What I'm saying.
This one actually has some sauce, as opposed to...
Yeah. It's just there's jokes and things and like a story, like, and you know what? Usually I would go, wow, I can't wait to see what we have next. Maybe something's better than this. And no.
Yeah. No. So do you just want to? I guess. What would you rate it? Like, would you just give it a 3?
I gave it like a 3 out of 5. Like, I thought it was fine. If this was on, I wouldn't turn it off. I wouldn't rush it. It was also very weird, and I kind of digged how weird it was.
Yeah, I probably would give it 4, like just slightly, because I enjoyed it, like slightly more than you probably.
Yeah, but it was fine. I thought I had a fine time. Like, if I could get this on DVD, I probably would. Funny enough.
Yeah, I think it might be part of the like Adult Swim like pilot There's like a DVD that they released that's just all of their failed pilots. So like Eltingville and Penguins Behind Bars and Korgoth and whatever else. Fucking Finkle Files, which we'll talk about in a second.
Jesus fucking Christ! I hope it's not on there.
But the next one is Circus, Peanut, and Elephant Ears.
Before we talk about this, shout out Andy Siriano. Did not know he worked on a pilot like this. This is his pilot. The minute I saw that name, I was like, wait a minute. Yeah, this is definitely his art style, but not cool.
Yeah.
No offense to Andy. Fantastic artist.
This is one of
really
those
talented.
Extremely generic pilots that we've seen a fucking million times before.
Yeah, it's a Ren and Stimpy. Like, I'm so fucking tired of Ren and Stimpy likes. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's way too late in the game for people. This would be like if it was like, I don't know, you're in like the N64 era and then you're like, I'm making Super Mario Bros. Like, I'm just making, it's like, okay, we have, yes, the 2D platformers are great. We can move beyond that, we can make new things. We don't need that anymore. Just, like, fucking move on. We don't need to make these things where it's like, what if this fucking wacky guy? And that's like, not to invoke the name of a criminal, but Kyle Carrozza, like, one of his problems was that every fucking idea he had for a series and every pilot he made was just, like, what if this wacky, neurotic guy and this sexy lady were going on an adventure? Like, that's...
No, but this is the opposite. Yeah. This is the Ren and Stimpy style, which is there is small one who is smart and big fat one who is dumb. And I'm like, oh my god, you're breaking the mold. Yeah. Also, for those that know where I didn't mention it, Andy is like the guy who did like a lot of the art and designs and stuff for Rise of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So that cartoon that everyone hated well, not everyone, but people who don't watch cartoons hated it first, and then they go, "Whoa, look at this clip of this animation! Who didn't tell me the show was goated with the sauce?" Well, because you're racist. Because you saw there was a black woman and you got racist. That's why I told you it was goated with the sauce.
That did blow my mind. That people. It also still blows my mind to this day. Whenever, like, if people share clips from like that or like any cartoon, then it will have like a cool fight scene, and then they're like, "Actually, this isn't cool for these reasons" or whatever. It's like, just. You don't need to.
No, is that meme like this? This fucking sucks. The coolest thing I've ever seen ever. Like, dude, fuck off. It's super good. Like, most of your like chud shitheads have stopped pretending it's not cool. Just join in.
Yeah, get out of here. I'm gonna.
The plot of Circus, Peanut, and Elephant Ears is that they're at a circus, and there's a sentient circus peanut. And an elephant, and they're friends, and they work for the circus. And you're going, wow, that sounds funny. You're wrong.
Yeah. And the circus peanut is like a kind of generic Mickey Mouse type, character. I don't know. It's just like not fucking funny or interesting, and it like doesn't look good. Like it looks like it was like a Flash cartoon from like 2008 or something. A new, like, maybe not a Newgrounds, but like, I don't know, it just doesn't look very good, and it was just very like, maybe not disappointing, because I don't know if I expected anything by the name, but like, it just I'm just like annoyed that we're still dealing with this shit like this like we're on episode 8, and we're still dealing with these. When we were first
doing pilot pile-ups, I was like, okay, another Ren and Stimpy, like, okay, this is fine. We were in the 90s. We were in the I'm like, yeah, we're in the 90s. This is going to happen.
Yeah.
It's crazy it's still happening. Yeah. It's crazy.
Mid-2000s, and they're still doing this bullshit.
I'm like, bro, we got to move on, man. At this point, we all know he's a sex pervert. Let's stop doing his style of cartoon.
So, okay. Well, part 2. It didn't like make me angry enough to like put it at 1, but
I bumped this to 2 after watching other shows we watched today.
You were like, surely this is the worst one when you first watched it.
Yes.
And so I'll just give it the 1, and then as you went on, you're like, fuck.
I think I literally said out loud, maybe I was too harsh on the peanut.
Yeah.
I was like...
Yeah, I think I would give it 2 to... I think this next one is at least one of the ones. So
Yeah, what's this next one?
it's the Finkle Files.
Oh my fucking god. Oh my god, this is so dog shit. This is so dog shit. Okay, real quick, before we get into it. I want everyone at home to close your eyes. Now, put home movies and South Park in a blender, but then don't make it even a little funny. And then you've seen this show already. There's no need to watch it.
Yeah. And, like, also imagine the Star of David, like, in your mind's eye. Just
Yes, yeah.
Just overlaying that.
Put a healthy dose of anti-Semitism from Jewish people in the blender, too. Yeah, and just blend that up and drink it.
This is the thing. I was like, what is going on? Where, like, it's clearly, like, I can assume that the, creator of the show is Jewish, and his self-insert is probably like the main like boy character with the glasses and everything. But there's like multiple characters where I'm like, why? Like, I cannot believe that this is in a cartoon in like the 2000s. Like Shmuel, the like
Shmuel, who like my sciatica. I was like, all right, enough.
Yeah, he's just like
enough.
Is like exactly the stereotype, that I hate of like the weenie,
neurotic,
loser Jewish kid, and or person or whatever, and then like all of the like all the adults with like the Yiddish accents and all that. Like, I don't know, it's just like so much to it where it was like I was kind of excited going in, and then it just quickly like dawned on me how bad it was. And then yeah, go ahead.
Also, let me just say, I'm going to be really fucked up in a second about this cartoon. I was like, why does this show keep doing the... Okay, if you've seen home movies, you know the home movie style of before cutaway, they'll do like a music riff that like keeps the characters animating there for a few seconds, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. This show kept doing it, but bad. Yeah. Over and over again. I was like, what's going on? And I went to go see that like one of the guys behind it was on home movies. Yeah. Here's the thing. The nigga was an audio engineer. So not anything like... Yeah. not to be mean, but like not anything like that has to do with like the actual style of the fucking show.
Writing or joking. Yeah, exactly. Like, that's what it felt like. It felt like a kid putting on their parents' clothes, copying home movies. Not like, oh, I worked on home movies, I'm taking my style and my expertise from that. Moving onward, it didn't feel like they actually like wrote for, animated, or anything on home movies. It feels like they just copied it. They saw it and were like, I can do that, but with Judaism. Yeah, and then
because like it's missing that like true dryness, like true dryness. Like home movies is like a very grounded show, honestly, if you're like really watching it. And this is almost trying to be silly, like, and then like, okay, we can't read the whole movie thing. Let's go South Park in the direction. I'm like, dude, this fucking sucks. Yeah. Also, this looks bad. Like, I get it. We were using Flash, but like,
oh yeah, this is like
Craig McCracken was using Flash like a human.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like the same type, the episode that we're not doing, and instead doing this, Foster for Imaginary Friends. That show looks great. Like, obviously, like, maybe aspects of it haven't aged well, but whatever. It's from 2004.
But it's well designed. So, that's the thing. Yeah. Like, Craig McCracken is a great character designer. And, like, his team is so good at it. And this show just had nothing. Everyone's bad to look at. Everybody, like, sounds like shit. They move like shit. The jokes aren't funny.
You're right. There's, like, one character who talks like a home movies character. Who is the, like, bully kid.
Oh, the bully character is just like, I was like, Kathy, was John H. Benjamin, did he say no? Yeah. Because it's just a dude doing a shitty John H. Benjamin impression. I'm like, dude, did he just say no? Like, he's just Coach McGurk but a child. And I'm like, this sucks. There's, like, nothing original here. I was getting mad. And then, I was getting legitimately angry watching this.
And then the problem with the rest of it is it just feels too written, where it's like home movies is, like, mostly improv. You know, they, like, have a setup and then... they kind of just riff, and then, like, that's why it's funny. Whereas, like, this, it's like they didn't understand this, so they just, like, wrote it, and then, like, it feels like it's, like, bad South Park. It's, like, not even good. Like, it's the worst parts of both of them combined. into one, and it looks like the Nut Shack. Like, it just is terrible. Like, it, just,
it does look like the Nut Shack.
Yeah.
Oh
it's just...
But it's not. But it's not like even absurd enough to be funny like the Nut Shack. Like, it's the Nut Shack. Like, it's not even that good. It's like, it's not... Also, the name's bad. Finkle Files is a bad name. It makes you think it's going to be like something like X Files, but no, it means his file because he gets in trouble. I guess. Yeah. But he also doesn't really do anything.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Real quick, the plot of this show, by the way, is these Jewish boys want to go over the lake to the Catholic school to go talk and make out with Catholic girls.
Yeah. And that's the plot.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's the plot. But the main character's like, I don't want to be whatever. Like, I don't want to be a rabbi. I want to be a musician.
And they never do anything with it. They just say that. He never plays music. He never thinks about music. He just says that, and then nothing comes of it. And I'm like, why? Yeah.
It isn't like, I don't know. It's just a very bad...
The last thing I'm going to say is that, like, Adult Swim in this era, even if there's shows that don't work for you personally, right? Like, I know people that don't like Tim and Eric. There's people that don't like 12 Ounce Mouse, right? There is this, like, unstoppable creativity in early Adult Swim, right? And this show, beyond not being funny, I don't care if it's not funny, this is the most uncreative show I've seen for these pilots. And I think that's like the worst offense. Yeah. Like, trying to get on Adult Swim with a show that has no creativity in it is nigh impossible. Like, even the funniest story for Aqua Teen Hunger Force is like this. Oh, why does stuff explode? Because we don't want to animate it anymore. That's like a joke for real animators. Like, those are real creatives that do this. This just show lacks any creativity. Like, this is like someone like said, what is an adult cartoon? This is like the cousin of all those Family Guy clones we got in like 2010.
Yeah. And like, it's one of those, not to like get too hard on this, but like, it is one of those things where, on one hand, you could say that like the egregious stereotypes are fine because there are other characters in it who are also Jewish and aren't stereotyped. But I don't think that holds water, because it's not like, a show like Craig of the Creek, which has a diverse cast of black people, like many different characters and personality types. It doesn't have like one racist caricature character randomly in the middle of it. And then you're just like, well, that's okay, because all these other characters, you would still be like, what the fuck is up with that? So yeah. Like, and I just think about other things that we have talked about that have had like, like I appreciated with the Detective Princess, like annoying Jewish girl representation. Great. Yeah.
But it felt like a real Jewish. Yeah. It felt like a real person. This is like, he's not a real person. He's there because they're like this. We want the South Park audience, which means we have to hit ourselves in the balls. Yeah. Here's the evil Jewish like stereotype. Yeah. Yay.
Yeah. Like, so yeah, it just sucks. This is a 1 star. Like, I can't. This is like one of the most annoying shitty pilots that we've talked about for sure.
Of all time. Yeah. No one can make me watch this ever again. No one can ever make me watch this again.
To the point where the next one, which is also bad, I was like, but this isn't quite as bad as the one that we just watched. So, and that is the Lewis Lectures.
This one, because of how bad Finkle Files is, I was enjoying this. Yeah, exactly. I had to go back and rewatch it and went like, this wasn't actually that funny. But I was enjoying it because of how bad Finkle Files was. Yeah, basically, guys, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, the premise is it's a dog giving lectures to other dogs about what to do in dog situations. This episode's about like what happens when your owner leaves.
Yeah. It's funny that this is like, I don't know, like a decade before like The Secret Life of Pets or whatever, things like that, where it's just like, this is already feels like such a hack concept. Then, like in 2003, and Illumination would like 12 years later with Louis C.K. Would be like, let's do that, because like it's very like Toy Story, whatever, like what are the things that don't have the intelligence do? What if they secretly do when you're gone and not looking? And yeah, I would say it's like not super funny because it is just like a lot of obvious jokes, and it like is animated very badly, but it doesn't look bad. Like I think the art is good.
It's also designed. It's also designed, yeah. Like the thing is like Flash animation at this point is still not known well, so people are like iffy about it. But I do think if you have a strong enough character design, you can overcome the limitations of Flash. The perceived limitations, because people did crazy shit with it later on. I will say the first joke in this show made me laugh. The joke of yes, when she's gone, you must let her leave, but stay by the door for at least 9 seconds, and she comes back. Be very excited to greet her. You have to be excited. Humans rely on us being excited to greet them when they come to the door. I'm like, that's a pretty good one. That's a pretty good one. But yeah, also Jack Black is the dog in this. I think a lot of the comedy actually comes from Jack Black's performance.
Yeah, I like. It's not. I would put it definitely above Finkle Files. I would put it like maybe even slightly above Circus, Peanut and Elephant Ears, because at least it isn't like so like, dear God, obnoxious. We're doing this again. But it's just like not funny enough for me to like, for it to be so memorable that I'm like, man, I really need, the fucking 2 seasons of this. This is dated funny in a way that like, that's different. This is like, and finding out that like people that worked on talk shows, like nightly talk shows, worked on this made sense. This would be a short thing you would see on like Letterman. In the 90s. Yeah, exactly. And like it would make your mom laugh, It was only like 7 minutes long, and I felt like it should be like half the length. Like that. Yeah, if this was a 3-minute like thing like that Jay Leno introduces, I would be fine with this, But like the whole thing on a cartoon channel, nah, I can't. I had to watch 20 minutes of this. Like I would not want to fucking do that. But yeah, so like. Again, it gets a huge boost from being after such a terrible pilot, but it's like overall, I'm like, whatever. Yeah, I give it like 2. If you really like dogs, then or if owned it.
You're a dog person. You'll get a hard chuckle at this. You love it.
I'm gonna say like
your mom that has dogs will love this.
Yeah, like, I'm gonna say I grew up with dogs my whole life, so I was like, I get, exactly. It is very annoying when you like leave the home and you're like. Got the dogs all settled in, and then you have to go back, and they're like, "What the fuck is going on?"
Oh my God, you're back!
So that is. So yeah, but I'd probably give it a 2, just because again, it didn't really make me laugh that much. It was just it's same thing with like Penguins Behind Bars, where it's like more cute than like really funny. Except for that one, at least had like. Some like
a full
toxic Yuri going on, it had some
Jesus Christ
like good shit in it, so I appreciated that.
Had an Orange is the New Black kind of thing.
Yeah. The next one I was very disappointed by.
Which one?
My Best Fiend. Because
man,
because this is by one of the Gorillaz animators. But it was. Not good and extremely unfunny. Like just like that's how I would categorize its humor is extremely unfunny. Just like
I think this was like having your friend who knows funny people try to get across one of their jokes. Now that being said, I will say it looks fantastic.
Yeah, it looks.
I will say cool. It looks really good. I like this is the guy that did the Gorillaz animation, and I look. Oh, it is. Here's the thing. Sometimes people who are good at the visual part of the visual medium don't have good writers with them.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't.
I can look at this all day.
Like let's think about like Clint Eastwood, the music video. It's a good music video. I don't think anybody would be like, man, the writing in that music video was really good.
I like the songwriting.
Yeah, exactly. Like the song and, the visuals, maybe like the story that's being conveyed without words, but like the dialogue and all of that stuff. No, nobody is saying that.
Fuck. The thing is, though, this really just looked good, you know?
Yeah.
Like, truly, that's it. Like, this looked good. It wasn't funny. The premise is that they did an exchange with, like, a family exchange. So the little girl from, like, a very nice, put-together, vaguely Mormon family is going to be sent to live with a different family, and their family will get a kid from somewhere else. But it turns out the kid is from hell. You would think that gives you like a lot of chance for comedy. They don't do anything with the premise. They don't do literally anything. Sometimes it feels like they just animated this and they added in like dialogue later. And forgot.
That's what it feels like. It's like nothing. Literally every single line doesn't feel like. I don't know. They didn't put like any effort into writing it. Like it just doesn't.
No, because it looks cool.
Yeah, and like the little girl character is so like over animated and like maybe like overwritten. Like she's like too cutesy in a way that's like not even a little bit funny. And it's I wouldn't necessarily say it was like annoying, but it was just like very disappointing how like bad it was like overall compared to the expectations going in, like with the visuals and everything,
because it looks so good.
So
like I would say like instead of watching this you should watch the Clint Eastwood music video, or pay me money to rap like Dale's verse at you, because I'll be like, finally someone let me out. I'll just do the whole thing, and you just send me money to do it. But this was I felt bad because this one was the most nothing one. I gave it a Clint Eastwood out of 5. Go see it. Just go watch.
It was funny because you did message me like, what the fuck is My Best Friend? Like, how the hell am I gonna search that? And then I had to go onto the site that I found this list from and see that I was like, oh, My Best Fiend. And even then, it took me a while to find the pilot and then link it to you, because like.
And I watched it and it's nothing. Like,
I was like, wow, this is a wasted both of our time. But
do you think those people that make like those lore videos for the gorillas are going to try to fit this in there? They should. I'm gonna do it like this. Have you seen the secret piece of the gorillas lore? And just like.
But this next one is another one I really hate.
We're here. This is the worst one.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about Bobots. If you want to talk about ones that aren't even a little bit funny.
Even a little funny.
Even kind of, sort of, like, if you squint, maybe there's like, I can see how that's funny. No, none of that. Not even a moment of joy. Bobots.
So, if you guys watched our last episode on Hi Puffy Yami, we talked about how it feels dated to do the, like, whoa, anime thing, right? And of course, like, we talked about how Teen Titans does it like really bad, but like Puppy Yumi does it, but like it feels more earnest because Japanese people worked on it. Bobots makes Teen Titans look respectful in fucking retrospect. This show has no joke other than we like it an anime, but like not in like a real way. It feels like your dad's idea of like liking anime. The premise, if I can even fucking call it that, is about 5 robots who fight like the kaiju battle style. That's it. They don't really do that. I just hate them.
It's like Mazinger Z, but it's like
dog
5 robots. And I gotta say, there's like 1 or 2 robots that look kind of cool, but mostly they look terrible. Like the 2 girl robots look terrible for one. Which is a shame, because even the girl robot in Mazinger like looked cool. So it's like that's like a cool robot. So
I think only like the main robot leader looks okay. I think the other ones look bad. I love the robot that his whole thing is it's a fat joke. But I don't understand like listen, not to be like the person like digging into lore and stuff. He gets on a platform made for him and it can't raise him because he's too fat. And I'm like, that's not how you made it for the robot. He's a robot. You built him. That's not how that would work.
But like this has a very interesting visual style where it's like
it looks pretty cool.
These like terrible CGI robots. But then like there's the 2D, and like the 2D is like both, it's like animated to try to be like anime, but like a white guy's version of anime, not like actual anime. So it like feels like super over animated too, with the like the 2D characters and everything. And then sometimes the robots are 2D characters as well. So it really just feels like they aren't committing to like any side of the bit. Yeah, this is just, it's just like really bad. It was just like I went and I was like, okay, it's about robots, cool. But then as soon as I started seeing like the anime faces and things like that, that was like, you know, it was just like terrible. It was like all downhill from there.
So I got excited because when I was like getting ready for this, I saw them like, oh wait, what studio made this? And it turned out that the studio was Cartoon Network Studios, but it was specifically the Latin American one. All right, oh cool, this is something kind of interesting. I was wrong and stupid and ugly.
Yeah, that makes sense.
This sucks.
That it's Latin America because of how much of that like Mazinger DNA is in it.
But like it bums me out because like this is so nothing. It's so nothing. Top to bottom, it's not funny.
It's not cool.
It's not interesting. It's not cool.
The character, like,
it's
one of those things where, like, I felt really bad that anybody was in, like, Tom Kenny was in this. Like, and I was like, why is he, like, I feel bad that he's involved in it. Isn't this embarrassing for him to be a part of, like, something that's so shitty? Like, that's so, like, he's part of, like, the funniest, most well-written cartoons of all time at this point. And he has to fucking do this as like a favor to a friend, maybe. Like, I don't know what is going on where they got him in there.
Also, like, when I say the jokes feel dated in this, it's insane. Like, Finkle Files is bad. This show has a joke that's just like, he's fat. And I'm like, okay, well, we see that all the time. But also, she's a girl. What do you mean? She likes cheerleading. And I'm like, what year is this?
Yes, and
this is dated in 2006. What the fuck are we doing?
It's like a blonde girl with pigtails, and she has high heels and does
she's a robot
and likes shopping and makeup. And it's like, did a single female work on this at all? Like, did one single woman like look over the script and was like, you know, you could maybe like, you know, you could write some funnier jokes about this, you know,
or like run into traffic. I don't know, this was so bad. Like, we need the opposite of a cult classic.
Yeah.
Where like it's a cult hated. Where like it's a thing that wasn't popular and no one see it, but everyone sees it, gets mad at it, and we find a person that made it and we beat them with hammers. This was not good at all.
Especially
I got annoyed. Like, really, my partner,
go ahead.
I was gonna say, Kathy told me I might not watch pilots with you anymore after we watch this one. Like, it was crazy. Like,
this also annoys, you know, not to keep harping on it being inspired by these like 70s robot shows, but like the style, like the art style that they're going for again is like this white guy in the 90s, early 2000s, what he imagines anime to look like style. Yeah. It doesn't fucking look anything like, you know, Go Nagai or Ken Ishikawa. You know, like, it doesn't actually look like those art styles from those series, and that would have been like such an easy fucking thing, you know, throwing a guy that looks like Koji Kabuto in there and be like, yeah, great, you know, with the sideburns and the spiky hair. I don't know, but they didn't have any of that. They had like, you know, a German scientist guy as like the person who is in control of them, and then, like I said, the main leader robot guy who has like the breakdown colors.
He looks like an early version of a Prime robot. Like, I think his design, it bums me out. He looks kind of cool. Like, you could put him in a Transformer thing today.
Yeah, but then like looking at the other ones, it's like, oh, the fat robot, that's like Boss Borat from Mazinger, but like that's it. Like, this, a lot of the other ones, they just like this was the first pass of designing these characters at all, and somehow they're like, man, we don't feel like redesigning them, so
who gives a shit?
Whatever,
cares.
fuck you. We're just doing this.
It's like everyone knew how bad this was.
Yeah.
It's like everyone knew, like, I don't want to put in effort, dude. It wasted my fucking time. It felt so long. It wasn't even that long. I think this one was like short. This one was like 8 minutes.
It also makes me think that if this was in Spanish, it would be funnier. Like, maybe the reason it just feels awkward and shitty is like, I know it probably was recorded in English, but like, I just am thinking, like, if it was created by the Latin American studio, similar to because they also did like Villainous and whatever, like they have like a couple shows.
And Villainous is only funny in Spanish.
Exactly. Well, that's what I'm saying is that like once you listen to it in English, it's like this sounds wrong. Like this doesn't sound, which is what I feel about all dubs. But don't attack me, people.
Weeb.
No, not a weeb. Has nothing to do with that because, again,
you go. I know. I don't want to start this.
Yeah, because I just want to listen to things in their original language. I don't fucking care if it's Spanish or French or Chinese or anything. I would just
anyway.
That's why it annoyed me when I was on HBO Max and I was watching like some Shaw Brothers movies and they were clearly like recorded in Mandarin but the dubbed over in Cantonese, and I was like, this is pissing me off. Like this is just like annoying me.
Wyatt, this is this is a good take. This is a take that I agree with, right? However, you are the film shithead that like those like anti-literature millennials tweet about on the internet. Yeah. Like, why can't I just enjoy a film? Like, that's how you sound right now. Also, because Wyatt hates dubs, I'm firing Wyatt, and Sean Schimmel will be my guest, will be my co-star now. So me and Sean Schimmel in here. Is that all you got? I can't say it. I won't say it on the podcast, but
I thought for a second, like, should I quote that? I was like, no, let's not get that on recording.
Guys, you should look up Goku saying the F slur.
Yeah.
Because look, hey guys, homophobia is not funny. But as a gay woman, that's objectively really fucking funny.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. But this is a terrible pilot. I'm glad it wasn't picked up.
I'm glad it wasn't. I hope. I'm glad it did not. No one had to see this.
And I'm mad that we're gonna have to watch like Robot Boy in a couple weeks, because
come on, lock in.
Because it's another one of these like fucking like here we are talking about, here's robots. It's anime. You guys like anime, right? It's like.
Oh, by the way, this pilot was so bad. I told you about this before we recorded about Say It Here. This pilot was so bad that I started talking about The Weekenders with Kathy.
Yeah.
So instead of
we could be watching this good show.
The Weekender is just fine, but I turned this off and put on The Weekenders because I just went. I'm like, Kathy, have you not heard The Weekender? And just like everybody's going all just like playing The Weekenders because Kathy's never heard of The Weekenders, and I'm like, oh shit.
Interesting. Yeah, I would put Weekenders like slightly. It's like a couple rungs below like a Hey Arnold, and it may be like one or two rungs below like As Told by Ginger, as far as like here's the show about kids getting into shenanigans, but it's not like and it's not. It's not like a comedy show specifically. But there is comedy in it.
My partner started getting mad at Calf Susie, which I've had to defend.
Yeah,
I had to jump on that grenade for Calf Susie.
I love
because no, me too. But The Weekenders is before she learned how to voice teenagers. That show came out like in the peak of like Baby Blues and Rugrats and stuff. So she wasn't voicing characters who weren't babies.
Yeah.
So like Tish's like voice in that show, even though she's like 14.
Yeah.
Is a baby. It's a baby voice. And my partner like this. Why the fuck does she sound like a baby? Like, yo, hop off the Calf Susie. Leave her alone. Like I know it's feeling like no, but hop off. She's trying her best.
Yeah.
Like, and then it devolved into like we talk about like what voice actors can't control their voice. And I was like, well, there's one who always sounds like a baby, and it's E.G. Daily, and I don't care. That is a sexy, beautiful MILF, dude. I'm not. E.G. Daily, if you hear this, please no. I'm kidding. I'll stop.
Yeah. I would say like Buttercup is like not baby, but she is like there is like, yeah.
She has to push Buttercup out though.
Yeah.
Like because like when you hear her talk normally, that's kind of just Tommy, and it's like Tommy. It's weird. I'm like who's this beautiful blonde-haired MILF woman who sounds like the baby with the screwdriver? Yeah. I'm uncomfortable.
Tara Strong was also in this pilot. Speaking of like.
Oh, dude, fuck her.
People with very little range.
She was here.
Yeah, she was like the little robot.
Yeah, she's a little tiny robot doing a little robot voice. I'm glad I wish she was in less stuff.
Yeah, I think she will be in less stuff generally as we go on, but
yeah,
because she's not in Imposters, right? Like I can't think of any. She might be like in a
she
bit role.
Has to be, right?
I mean, she has to be somewhere
be
in there because she was in Powerpuff Girls, right? Like there's no way they wouldn't do that like with their next show, but like,
bro, she's literally Mac's brother.
Oh yeah, that's right.
She's literally Mac's brother.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit.
Oh,
hey,
man.
dweeb, get over here.
Good. Yeah,
dude,
she's,
that's a good voice. That's a good Tara
she's much better as like annoying boys than she is as like girls or like even or sexy girls like Harley Quinn and things like that, you know.
Dude, I can't wait to talk about Keith Ferguson for an hour.
Yeah, oh man, I love it.
One of the greatest voice actors of all time. And honestly, if you just made him just blue, he'd be great.
Yeah.
But he's also other things and he rules so hard.
We should do an episode about Wander Over Yonder at some point. I don't even.
Oh my god!
Not even just do, not do any other Disney show. Literally just Wander Over Yonder,
and The Weekenders. The Disney
and Gargoyles. Yeah.
No, the Disney special is Wander Over Yonder, The Weekenders, and Brandy and Mr. Whiskers, and we don't talk about anything else. And those are the three shows we talk about. The Buzz on Maggie.
Yeah.
What show was the pervert Rick and Morty man in? Wasn't it the Buzz on Maggie?
Fish
Hooks. Yeah, he was Fish Hooks. Fish Hooks, dude. Come on.
Yeah, Justin Roiland was in that. Alex Hirsch was like the showrunner, but he didn't create it. He was like given it, and like Maxwell Adams and C.H. Greenblatt, I think, were also
what the fuck
involved. There's
prestige.
I know, and this
television
show is not good. It's like it's not good at all.
Dude,
so,
they got all the gas and no engine. They got all that gas and no engine, dude.
But this was before Gravity Falls, so like, you know, it was like
we didn't know.
It was basically like Alex Hirsch went from Flapjack to that, and then they were like, yeah, good enough, make Gravity Falls, and then he made that.
Yeah, and then he just never.
And then he never made anything
show,
ever again after that, and people are still like, he's the GOAT, you know, even though he like,
dude. Oh, he made a middling show of that. Like, is
I'm
about.
not.
Let me start. I don't want to get.
I'm not saying this. I will say that I did recently watch.
I'm saying it.
I did watch a video that was like, talking about like the stereotype of like the sassy black woman in cartoons. And I forgot that
he lives there, dude.
I forgot how many jokes there were about that in Gravity Falls, like because the person doing the video showed multiple examples. So I was like, this doesn't even make any sense. Like, why is this here? Like, why why is Grunkle Stan doing like a sassy black scent and being voiced by Grey DeLisle, not even a actual black woman doing it? It's like multiple layers of racism.
If you took out the like I talk like a black person jokes from Gravity Falls, you just lost 36% of that show. And you're like, fuck, man. Like, no, okay, look. I don't think Gravity Falls is the worst cartoon of all time. I do think Alex Hirsch is a mid-crafter. And I've always thought this. And let me just tell you what. Thinking that on the internet back in the heyday of Tumblr, hell. I was getting slurs thrown at me I haven't heard since the fucking Reagan administration. They were going at me crazy. I do think Gravity Falls, though, the thing about Gravity Falls is that it makes... I gotta put this. It makes you invested in it, which makes a good fan. Like, I think the Gravity Falls fandom is very toxic, right? But also existing in it was fun. I think existing in like the plots and the mystery stuff like that. I would just say all the adults who are obsessed with Gravity Falls still, you could just watch Twin Peaks right now and have the same time. Yeah. So just grow up. Just grow up and watch Twin Peaks.
I would say like my take on Gravity Falls, not having rewatched it since 2016, whenever it ended, is that like I found it very funny, but I never bought into it being like an interesting story.
I agree, yeah.
In the sense that, you know, they were like, oh man, here's this great mystery. And in my opinion, I feel like a good mystery is something like Twin Peaks, where it is like not necessarily like the mystery of like who killed Laura Palmer is not like you figure that out, but there's other mysteries. You start to learn that it goes way deeper than that.
Like how, why, what made it happen. And I think that's the thing. Twin Peaks mystery is like the lack thereof. There is no like end goal you're trying to figure out. It's a vague idea of an end goal you're trying to figure out. And I think that's like my biggest issue with it. Besides the racism. And besides the racism.
But I would say that like in general, the shows that followed Gravity Falls and tried to copy its style became like they were good after they decided to stop being so much like Gravity Falls. So like
hard agree, yeah.
Owl House season 1 I don't really like because it's way too much like what if Gravity Falls was in the demon world, like basically, like what if Gravity Falls was in hell is essentially the premise of that. And then season 2 was like, what if we build a fucking world with real characters and like actually try to like explore these things that we have set up instead of just constantly having Alex Hirsch voice like 50% of the extended cast and make jokes at himself. Like it gets a lot better in the second season. And then like same thing with Amphibia, like it's I like the first season of Amphibia a lot actually, but it only improves the more that it like tries to distance itself from being just like Gravity Falls tonally. I don't know. Weird tangent to go on at the end of this podcast.
Sorry, Alex Hirsch. If you want to be on, though, Alex Hirsch, you're always welcome.
Yeah.
I will not be mean to your cartoon if you come on because we love you. I don't. Wyatt does. Anyway.
Yeah, I don't know if I love him, but I think I appreciate
his work.
Yeah.
And his like when he did the animation.
But I also am not like in love with Gravity Falls necessarily. Like I was always more of a fan of Wander Over Yonder. As far as
as you should be, because like I think like the average I'm about to be really mean. The average white man that likes Gravity Falls is like hitting like beard culture and bacon levels of being annoying. Like I think like they have a long beard that goes through their chest and they're like, I fucking love bacon. I love bacon on anything, and I love a burger with like I'm like fuck off. And
as a fat guy with a beard and glasses who wears sweaters, I have to avoid those stereotypes at all costs. I have to make sure I'm like, no, I don't just like these. I like other things as well. I
like you're a Del Toro fat white guy. You're you're making a sexy little Frankenstein.
I'm so excited for Del Toro Frankenstein. You don't understand.
Oh, me too. Slut out Oscar Isaac. Let's go.
Let's do that. All right, well...
Anyway, the episode's done. Let's go.
Yeah, the episode is done. Morgan, where can we find you? What's your deal?
Hey, guys. Bit time. You can find me on Tumblr and Blue Sky at Girl Next Vor. I'm posting art. I'm posting jokes. I'm making posts about Nerf guns. And I am causing government dissent probably a little bit. Yeah. You on Blue Sky, same thing, Girl Next Vor. However... be careful over there because I am setting up the people who run Blue Sky to be arrested and sent to prison for a big Pearl robbery.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's going to go through, but it's what I'm attempting right now. Wyatt, where can we find you?
Well, go on over to Twitter and Blue Sky, Wasp Ranger, WAZP Ranger. It's mostly stream of consciousness stuff, but I do post about videos I'm making or podcasts and things like that. So if you want some updates, go check that out. If you want to get straight to the source, if you want to suckle right from that teat, baby, go on over to It's Only Magic at Patreon. $3 level gets you all the shows. You get this a week early. You get Wow Cool Robot, me and my friend Wayne going through every robot in existence. You can also get that at the $1 level, but you don't get this show a week early at $1. There's also... probably hasn't been released at the time of recording this or releasing this, but eventually will be put up. We already recorded the first episode. Cody and I doing a show called Horror Hole, which is based on an old idea that he had for horror movie reviews on his YouTube channel. We started with Barbarian, which is a pretty good movie. So
I like Barbarian.
Yeah, when I was interested to watch it because I heard that the director wanted to do a Resident Evil movie, and then when I watched the movie, it was like a girl in a basement opening secret doors and like exploring and finding items to like open more doors. And I was like, yep, he gets it. He could do a Resident Evil movie.
About also just real quick about the director. The director is also the Whitest Kids You Know alumni.
Yeah, I did not know that until Cody brought it up, and I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, he's specifically Abraham Lincoln. So like, now you fucked up. Now you fucked up. Now you fucked up. So
yeah. So and then we're doing Ring, the original Japanese one after that. So we're just going back and forth, basically being like just picking random movies we want to show each other. Good time. All right, join us next time for another Cartoon Buffoons, where we go and watch probably one of the biggest shows that we're going to have to watch, and that's Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. See you there.
See you there, friends.
Do, 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 do.